Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is the start of what I hope will be a very interesting series. It's called Crime is the New Black Entitlement. Of course, this series, this idea is dedicated to Colin Flaherty. He passed on the message of how to speak about black crime, violence, mayhem, black and white hostility without racism, without rancor, without apology, while maintaining those principles, those pillars. We'll also look at the denial, deceit, and delusion where we find them. But generally, we're trying to show people, get people to understand that there is a particular problem with black people. We do it through videos. We're not just going to talk about it, we will show it. So, and obviously on this page, on this series, we're not going to be talking about the numbers. If they do come up, we will discuss them. But it's not central to our discussion. Everyone already knows what the numbers are: 1352, 1362. Everyone knows those numbers. But how do those numbers play out in real life? 1362 is not even other crimes. 1362 is not this woman here hitting someone with a bowling ball at the bowling alley. If you remember, Colin talked about black violence in schools, black violence in the church, black violence in the street. But you have bowling alleys, skating rinks, courtrooms, churches, funeral parlors, and all these types of things. We will continue that legacy of showing violence, black violence, in the most unthinkable places, in sometimes the happiest places, sometimes, you know, Disneyland, McDonald's, Arby's, wherever. So that is what this is going to be about, and it's going to be called Crime is the New Black Entitlement. This is, of course, an homage to Colin Flaherty. We want to continue his work in some form or fashion, and let's get right into it. So here we have a video of very strange looking black women in a bowling alley. Let's see what they do. Hopefully this is safe for YouTube. If not, we'll have to describe what is happening. Let's go. Jesus, right off the bat. That woman, that crazy animal, picked up a bowling ball and threw it at another person's head. That woman should be dead. We can't watch that again because we don't even want to get YouTube talking, but let's look at the comments. Let's go down and see what people are saying in the comments, because does that come up in the statistics as culpable homicide or attempted murder or whatever it is? Does it come up? No. That's why we don't like the statistics. We don't even care. This is just what black people do in their natural habitats. Oh, here we go. We have a pro black. Ever since breaking the covenant and being subject to the same shit our ancestors endured in Egypt before Moses, the Israelites have been the lowest of the low. To the point, the offsprings of Iblis today can't believe we were preferred, and it's true. It's a shell of our former selves. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Oh my god. What is this guy talking about? In Egypt before Moses. Get out of here, man. Oh man, there's another pattern incident. Of course, the pattern incident is the incident where the black girl is sprinting and she hits her competitor with a baton. Of course, she survived attempted murder, jail. Jail. Do black people go to jail? Do black people stay in jail? This is all part of crime is the new black entitlement. Black people don't go to jail because there is some kind of belief that, oh, there's something that's causing black people to behave in such an unruly fashion. No, this is who black people are. The American black is the purest form of black, without any colonial restrictions, without any what's the word? Without any social constraints on behavior. They don't have surnames, they don't have family names to protect, they don't have societies or communities. If you look at blacks in, obviously blacks are blacks everywhere, but if you manage to find a more civilized black, it's probably going to be an African, but you still have a semblance of having a family name to protect. I think it was actually Pastor Semper who talked about it, because in Uganda you have like a family which is part of a clan, and so not only are you a member of your family, you have a clan that has ties to that family. So if I'm from Ungabunga family, right, you have a bigger Bangabungu clan that family is a part of. So your conduct is a reflection on your family, it's also a reflection on your clan. Blacks don't have this. That's why they can pick up a fucking bowling ball and hurl it with all their might at another person's head at close range. That's brain damage. That's permanent. Oh my god. Let's go to the next one. Atlanta YNs crash out in the store after the owner tried them. So let me read this for English language listeners. Atlanta is the capital of Georgia. YN means young niggers, which means a young black person. Young black person is a black person between the ages of 7 and 17. But when you say a teenager is a black person between the ages of 11 and 43. So that's the lingo. So when you see teenagers, it's anywhere from 11 years old to around 43, 44, 45. That's a teenager, especially when you're talking about black people. YNs is someone who is significantly younger, not necessarily yet 18 years old. So crash out means just acting generally in an unruly, classless, violent, sometimes homicidal fashion in the store after the owner tried them. The owner tried them. Tried them means that these young niggas went into the store and were already causing a mess. And the owner trying them is a way of saying the owner spoke to them and said, stop trashing my store, stop stealing my food, stop, disrupting my business. So this is the crash out. The crash out is the highest form, one of the highest forms of black violence, which, as we know from like the George Floyd riots, we have chimp outs, but this is a crash out. So let's look at this crash out. As I said, crash out is a more socially acceptable term for black behavior, usually violent, but often non-violent. But it usually has a violent connotation. So yeah, the owner is an Indian. Black people generally tend to target Indians. If you notice, many of these stores, convenience stores, grocery stores, like local mom and pop shops, they never have black people owning them. So these young niggas just believe that this stuff is free, they can go in there, do whatever they want. This is because in many states in America, the threshold for police arrests, trials, larceny, serious offenses, the threshold for prosecuting, arresting those crimes is usually very high, maybe $500. Some states even have up to $1,000. So they understand this and they can just come and do whatever they want. And they know that the police is not going to arrest them or stop them. So they have that entitlement to do what they're doing. He's on the phone with the police, but they're not going to come, and they know that. So that is exactly what is happening. Colin talked about this a lot. You need to read Don't Make the Black Kids Angry, White Your Bleed a Lot, and listen to his podcast to understand that progression of how we got to this point of crime being the new black entitlement. Oh yes, yes, this is one very important fact and pattern that Colin pointed out. Whenever you see these videos, the person usually recording them is black, and you see encouragement, you see laughter, you see a cosign, as you would say, of the behavior you're witnessing. So this is not just the black people causing the violence in the store. This is also the people who are surrounding it, encouraging it, laughing about it. That also adds to the flavor of what we're seeing before our eyes. It is truly the most fascinating thing. So these are the most antisocial group of people on the planet. So the idea of even living next to these people is unfathomable to me. I don't even know how these people can tolerate this. Because imagine going through this every day. In fact, it's so common that when summer comes, they expect even greater levels of this violence, greater levels of these disruptions. So it's really something that is just not sustainable. There has to be a reckoning with these niggers, and they need to be put in their place, quite frankly, if you are to have a civilization going forward. So when you now see stores saying no black people or no young black people or no what's the word, no unaccompanied blacks, which doesn't mean anything because they rarely have parents, only accomplices, shout out Colin Flaherty, then people start to cry and say that they're being racist. What other response do you have to this than racism? To prevent your store from being destroyed, you have to prevent blacks from coming in. If you stop blacks coming in, you're reducing the likelihood of this by about 80 to 90%.
Yeah,
you see that? Let's see that again. The guy recording is having the best and most wonderful time. In a regular society, he would try to help the store owner, but because he's black, he has to behave like a black person and encourage the other black people doing the violence. Do you understand anything he's saying? He's speaking allegedly English, but it's not. It doesn't sound like it. And then he's making some hand signs. I don't know what that means. I can't break that down, but it has probably to do with some kind of gang activity. Every black person is a gang member, whether they're a card-carrying gang member or not. They just have not only the affiliation, official or unofficial. They have the propensities, the demeanors, the carriage, the conduct of a gang member. So there is really no need to make that distinction between black people. They all are. Well, do you see this glass? In Philadelphia, a black city council member tried to get this glass banned from stores because she felt it was insulting to black people. Here you can see the use. The glass is bulletproof because black people normally carry guns and shoot store owners when they're trying to rob. But generally nowadays, black people don't even need to rob. They can just walk in, grab whatever they want, and leave. You can see he can't hit it. He can't break it because it's actually bulletproof. But he keeps trying because he's black. See that looting? He's giving them encouragement. Yeah, they sound quite young, so yeah, YNs is correct. Probably under the age of 17. Look at that person too. It's the same thing. There's no difference between these people and George Floyd. There is no difference. To my mind. These are you call them monkeys and they start crying, but what else? How else do you describe this? What's the difference between leaving a group of wild monkeys in a store like this and what these black people are doing? We have a video of a bear, a wild animal, kills human beings, does all these things, going into a store and making even less, far less of a mess than these black people. What does that make black people? What is the meaning of this behavior? Can you psychoanalyze this behavior, Jordan Peterson? And that's the funny thing, and I don't want to get political, but Jordan Peterson we can't say Jordan Peterson has never seen a video like this in his life. But can he ever come out and tell us what this is? You know what conservatives say? Even Myron from Fresh and Fair comes out and says, this is lack of fathers in the home. You don't know that, one. That is a speculation. And two, that does not have any bearing whatsoever on this type of conduct. Because the quote-unquote black father, even some of these kids are fathers, and they're under the age of 18. Some of these children are fathers. So the idea of no black fathers, and there are no black fathers in the hood to model young niggas, YNs into, black astronauts and black football coaches. That's a fucking lie. Give me a break. This is black people. It doesn't matter whether they have fathers or not. This is who they are. Yeah. This kid, you tell me this kid doesn't have a father? How do you know that? This boy is maybe 9, 10, 11 at best. But he knows, he understands what time it is.